Welcome back.
It's already filming?
Yeah, she's going. Welcome back, guys. Another episode of the 5-Minute Blitz. This one is featuring the very lovely Deni Varnhagen. We've got her on the show today, so thank you so much for your time in joining us. So give us a bit of an intro on what you do as a job and how you got there.
Yeah, so I'm Deni, I'm 26 years old. I play football for the Adelaide Crows. Aside from playing football, I'm a full-time registered nurse. So I work at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital. Yeah, it's really good.
Awesome. So registered nurse, that's a really interesting career.
Yeah.
So as a registered nurse, what is some of the challenges that you would face on a daily in your job?
Yep, so a challenge for registered nurse is that every day is different. Whenever you rock up to work, you don't know what you're going to be walking into, what patients you're going to be looking after. So difficulties would just be trying to coordinate each patient's care individualised so they get the best treatment possible. So some of the difficulties would be for maybe a post-op patient that hasn't sit out of bed yet, so just trying to make sure that they sit out of bed for their meals, or helping someone to walk for the first time after they've had a hip replacement. But even to the other end of things, of just being there for your patient and their family after they've had like a poor diagnosis. So there can be many challenges, but also really rewarding at the same time.
Yeah, of course, really rewarding job. So you mentioned about in your daily challenges having to help people walk again, or helping families after they've just heard some really bad news. So my next question is, can you describe a moment in your job that has really touched you?
Okay. I'm thinking of two kind of moments. One's a bit of a sad one and one's a bit more positive. So I'll start with the sad one. I was fresh as a grad, so it was my first year out of nursing. I was actually coming into Mother's Day and I was working the night shift, and I was working AMU, so I had this elderly woman and she was passing away and her family weren't quite there yet, so I just sat in the room with her, held her hand, and that was really special for me to then, when the daughters came, to then tell them that someone was with her when she passed away. So that was quite big in my first year of nursing. I'll always remember that. And something a bit more positive, I reckon my patient, he was about 98 years old and he just had a hip operation, and it was literally the next day, and he was so motivated to just get up and walk. So we got up and we walked with him, and he did really well, it's amazing to see. I mean, you get someone that's 40 years old and want to lay in bed for 3 days, but then this 97-year-old, 98-year-old, up and walking the next day.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
You mentioned as well that earlier on in your intro that you play for the Adelaide Crows, you're a 2-time premiership player, you're signing on for another 2 years. You've obviously got a heavy training load, but you're also working night shift as a nurse, so just give us a bit of an insight into balancing your work and your athlete life.
Yep, so my life is really busy. There's no secrets about that. But yeah, working full-time as a nurse, it's got its pros and cons, because I'm able to make every single training, whether I'll just work a morning shift on training days, but on night shift, like you said, sometimes I just have to sneak away from training a little bit earlier so I can shower and eat and get to work on time. It is really busy because the night shifts are longer shifts, but then it's also good because then I get random days off during the week, or I'll be working the weekend. So it has its balance. I can definitely still work full-time, which is tiring. I think next season I might drop a couple of shifts just so I can have a bit more me time. But yeah, it is quite easy to juggle it in the way my work's really good with their rostering, and so we just make our shift requests, and so I get all that. Yeah.
Well, when you're used to it, I guess that helps as well.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been really busy most of my life, so it's nothing real different. But it's good. Yeah.
So at the Independent Project, we're all about not giving into society's values and walking your own path confidently. So how important is that to you, and do you have any messages for anybody sort of listening that might need to hear something today?
Yeah, I think it's really important to be true to yourself and love the skin that you're in, and just be your own person. So this is your life to live, so just live it.
Live it. There you go. Words truly spoken. Look, thanks for joining me on the show today, Deni. It's been a pleasure having you. I hope everybody got something interesting out of that and has gained a little bit of an insight as to what it's like to be a registered nurse and a 2-time premiership player. So thanks so much for coming on.
No, thanks, Jenna.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
See ya.